everyone, and welcome back to my channel. My name is Tola. If you're new here, you are welcome. Please consider subscribing and click on that bell notification icon so that you always get notified every time I upload a new video on this channel, which is at least once every Friday. I also have a second channel here on YouTube, and that is Cook with Tola Lusi, and it's dedicated entirely to my recipes. That is where I post about 2 to 5 minute recipes that you can just follow. They are Nigerian and intercontinental dishes, so I make them really easy and simple for you to follow. Please go over there and show me some love over there as well. Alright, so today I'm going to be talking to you about what I love about studying in South Africa. I'll be sharing my experience, and I'll also be talking to you about what I love in general about the educational system here in South Africa. Okay, so the first point I'm going to be talking to you today about is I love the style and mode of teaching children. I love the way the educational system is structured, right from the knot to double knot to triple knot to grade R, grade 1. I just love how it is structured. Okay, so a little background story here. Because of the lockdown, I've been exposed to my child's curriculum, and I have been co-teaching with the teachers. So I am aware of some of the things that they have taught, and I'm also teaching at home. So I know how they are teaching, learning the alphabet, learning the alphabet with the phonetic sounds. This is something that I really love because it helps them learn to read on their own a lot quicker. And Lord, give me strength. Yeah, so it just makes the learning process for the children to just be able to read on their own. I feel it makes it a lot more easier because it's basically self-explanatory for the children, so they get to pronounce their words a lot quicker and easier, and they can just learn to do it on their own. So I really I love that aspect. So I love that it is interactive. You get to ask the children questions and just sort of pick their brains and just get to know what they know about a particular subject. Okay, this week it could be teaching about transport systems, and just break it down and ask the children, what do you know about this vehicle? What does it do? What kind of sounds does it make? It's just very interactive, and I just love that. I love how that plays out. Okay, so this next point is just moving over to my own personal experience studying an undergraduate course here in South Africa. For a quick background story, I studied surveying here in South Africa, and I did that at DUT. All right, so the next point I'm going to talk about is, of course, the buildings and the lecture rooms, and just how the buildings in the university are just structured and close together. For where I'm from, the buildings are kind of far apart from each other. All right, so the next point I'm going to talk about is, of course, the easy registration process. So I feel like it's a lot easier, and you can get everything done literally in one day, like the whole registration process. Yeah, so paying for tuition and all of that is easily done. The process can take you a day. You can do everything in one day and get all of your documents back to the faculty office in one day. So I like the fact that the buildings and the academic buildings and all of the other buildings around or within the university are kind of close together, so you can just take a quick walk, get what you need done, sort out your registration, and be settled for the semester in a day. The process is not as tedious as what I'm used to back home, because most of the buildings and the structures are kind of far apart, so you have to walk sometimes, join a queue because of the amount of people that are ahead of you. So yeah, I love the fact that the registration process is very easy. Student card, getting a student card, getting your payments done, paying for tuition, getting the dean's signature, getting the registrar's signature. All of these things are something that you can just do within a day or two. So I just love the easy registration process. It's number one. All right, of course, the next point after registration is studying or lectures resuming. And I just love the fact that once you pay for tuition, all of your study materials are usually given to you by the course rep, who does that in conjunction with the lecturer. You get your course notes, you get the texts that you'll be using, and whatever you need in addition to that you can get at the library. That's for another point. But I just love the fact that after paying for your tuition, you get the study content or the course notes from the class rep, and you are basically set. You can get, if I'm not mistaken, about 80 to 85% of what you will need for the course in the course notes, and it's usually self-explanatory in most cases. Well, the course I did was a practical course, so I found that most of the things that I needed for the course and just to understand the course generally were included in the course notes. So that's one thing I really love, is that after you pay your tuition, you know that whatever it is that you get from the course rep for each course is almost self-sufficient for you to pass the course. So yes, I really love that. And whatever you need in addition to that, you can get from the school library. That's another point, so we get to that in another point. All right, so the next point I'm going to talk about is that the lecturers are approachable and accountable. This one. Okay, so during the duration of my course, I had a mixture of lecturers. I had some South African lecturers, I had some Nigerian lecturers, I think I had a Mozambique lecturer as well. I can't really remember where he was from, but I had a variety of lecturers, and the general thing with most of them was that they were very approachable. They were very welcoming. Most of them were very welcoming if you didn't understand any aspect of the course. So most of them are very approachable. You can approach them, talk to them about things that you don't understand. Some of them could even schedule like a personal tutorial session with you, and some of them, you know, you can just ask, especially when it comes to AOC. AOC is short for area of concentration, and you can just ask them, you know, what areas could we expect for tests, exams, and whatnot. And most of the time, well, let me say 50 to 60% of the time, they will tell you what is coming out, and whatever it is that they tell you, just study around it, because it's not like area of concentration 100%, because you have to use more brain when it comes to what they tell you. So yeah, I love the fact that they are very approachable. I know there was one that really took me under her wings, and she just really explained some of the things that I was struggling with coming from a different background. And you know, it was a very fun experience for me. I really loved the fact that I could approach my lecturers and, you know, just talk to them and get extra explanations for the course that they are teaching. I also like the fact that they are accountable. This one, yeah, it shocked me. Gone. Because I wasn't expecting it. It was towards the end of the first semester, and one of our lecturers just came in. Well, the first lecturer that did it came in to the class one day, and he just started distributing A4 sheets, and I could see that some people were already laughing, because I guess that some of them already knew what was happening. And me, I'm like, are we having tests today? Why is he distributing scripts again? I'm like, this is very impromptu. I didn't study for any test. And when it got to my turn, I just saw questionnaire, lectural appraisal form. And I'm like, what's this? I started looking at questions. Does he teach in an understandable manner? Does he teach in English? Is he late for lectures? I'm wondering, are we going to feel? And it was anonymous. That was another thing that was. I'm like, it's anonymous. I won't even write my name, so you won't even know who wrote what about you. And there was a part where if none of the things that you wanted to complain about or anything that they wanted to ask you, if none of the boxes were there, there was another place down that you can write small essay. I'm like, Kilele? You will write, praise your lecturer. Where? How? In what world? So that was really, that was a real shocker for me, and it's something that I actually find it can put a lecturer on his feet or on her feet, because they know at the end of the day, you know, they will always get feedback from the students. So I love the fact that, you know, it's not just a one-sided it's not just a one-sided system where, you know, the lecturer can just come and, you know, leave the class and no one really checks. So it's like they are getting feedback from the people, or the end users, which are the students. So it's something that I really, really, really love about the South African educational system. Okay, so the next point is access to study materials, libraries, and laboratories. I love the fact that, you know, they are very accessible to everybody. So far, you have your student card, your valid student card. I love that. I also love the fact that there's the laboratory part. Well, for my course, I had a practical course. I studied surveying, and we had access to the storage rooms where the equipment were kept. You can't just go there and get instruments for personal use and whatnot. But, you know, whenever it was time for practicals and all of that, you know, you go with your group members, you sign for it. Each member is accountable. If anything gets missing, all of you are culpable. It's almost the same thing back home. So I just love the fact that, you know, that is there as well. It also comes with free Wi-Fi, it on printers where you can print out your work or have someone print it out for you. There's always a manager or someone in charge of the computer rooms. So there are technicians on ground to come and check, you know, if you're having a challenge with the equipment and whatnot. So I love that aspect as well. Okay, again, I love the fact that the syllabus are always revised, and, you know, they always keep them up to date. I love the fact that, you know, if you studied a course, let's say 5 years ago, 5 years fast forward, there's an improvement on the syllabus. I mean, I love the fact that they always move with time. I love the fact that, you know, things are constantly being updated. I love the fact that, you know, things are constantly being, you know, improved. Yeah. All right. So the next point is, of course, the grading system, and this is an interesting part. Okay. So from the registration process, you already know what course falls into two categories, and that is the continuous assessment or the year mark. So the first category is, of course, the continuous assessment, and for these courses, you do not write any exams. All you're going to do is write tests, do projects, and have assignments, and all of that will contribute to your final score for the course. So you know whether you pass or you failed. Now, the projects usually carry more weight in my experience, because I feel like those courses are really the weighty courses, and the practicals are usually the ones that carry the weight for the marks for courses like that. Now, for the year mark, you have courses that, you know, you get tests, and you write 2 tests, and then you write an exam, and what you get for the test determines if you even qualify at all to write the exams. So you know whether you pass or fail the course just by writing 2 tests before the exam. Okay, so for the first 2 tests, the addition of your marks should be at least 40% over 100 to be able to qualify to write the exams. Now, when you eventually write the exams, your scores will be added to your test mark, and you have to score at least 50% to pass the course. Now, if there's another interesting angle to it. If you score around 45% to 49%, you qualify for something that is called a sub. And what that means is that you have a second chance to write the exams, which is usually a few weeks after the first exam. And when you write that exam, you have to score at least 50% to pass the course. So those are the two categories: there's continuous assessment, and then there's the year mark. Year mark or term score, I forget the terminology, but basically that is all that you need to know. All right, so we've come to the end of today's video. If I left out anything or you like to point out anything to me, please use the comment section. I do my best to respond to every single comment. Like this video if you found it helpful. It does a lot to boost my analytics and just get my videos suggested to more people. Subscribe if you have not done so already, and I will see you in my next one. Goodbye, guys.